Hello everyone, welcome to Kevin of Reza. This is Reza and this is our daily sports show. We talk about all kinds of sports here. Let's start with NHL. Penguins lost to Jets 2-5 or 4. Nonetheless, Penguins are doing way better than I thought in the NHL. Though the squad is a little bit old, so this can fall down, and maybe they will be. I think they will be a Stanley Cup competitor, though how far they can go, I don't think very far. Um, let's move on from that. One of the most exciting events of last day or today morning, depends on where you are, was the MLB, the last game, seventh game of World Series, the um, champions of USA somehow to translate it. Um, Blue Jays had it in their hand. They were like 3-2 up, and they needed only one more win to get it. But Dodgers came back 3-3, and last night 5-4. Dodgers won. Very close game, and yeah, they were last year's champions as well. So back to back champions, and Blue Jays just slipped out of their hand. You don't want to be their fans. It's it must be quite hard, but for Dodgers, of course, everything shines for now. And yeah, that's about that. But it was a big event, and so we now know the World Series champions. Dodgers, LA Dodgers, yeah. So going to NBA, Pacers won against Warriors. Maybe interesting result. Pacers not on a good form. Warriors now a little bit doubtful. They started the league pretty good now, two losses in a row. Of course, it doesn't mean much in the long term, but maybe their form is not as good as we thought. That's all. Another loss for Celtic. They're also not on a good form. Maverick lost. You also don't want to be a fan of Maverick these days. Luka is doing fantastic for Lakers, plus 40 points here or there in a lot of games, and Mavericks not doing very well. Um, Heat versus Lakers is a big game that is, I think, tomorrow morning or tonight, depends on where you live, but that's a game I'm looking forward to because I'm a Heat fan and I'm going to watch that. Going to NFL is happening today. Steelers versus Colts. Interesting for me. I'm a Steelers fan, so I will watch it probably like this because it can be a tough one. Colts are doing great, great, more than great. Chiefs against Bills can be the most interesting match and close one, so you can take a look on that. Tennis. Skinner won semi-final, and he's in the final now in the Paris 1000 points. And yeah, that's about that. Alcaraz was out, and Skinner can get this. He is the favorite for winning this now, and he's in the final. So let's see what will happen. For the chess FIDE World Cup, it's too close to for me to go deep in it because a lot of players also don't have an opponent yet, so they're waiting for other players to join them in the brackets, and three position for the candidates will be open there. So of course, Magnus Hikaru, like don't look much for it. Gukesh and Anish are in the tournament, but they wouldn't care maybe much because they already have a seat. Maybe for them it's more of a training rather than anything else, just to keep their form. And yeah, that's about that. Gukesh is not in the candidates. He's the champion, so the winner of the candidate challenge them, just to say it correctly. And let's go to football. Yeah, um, I said that before, when Quito defeated Palmeiras 3-0 on the first leg of semi-final of Copa Libertadores. Palmeiras will not go up probably. It's almost done. I couldn't be more wrong. Palmeiras defeated them 4-0, and they went to final of Copa Libertadores to fight Flamengo there. So it's all Brazilian final, and very interesting to watch and see who's gonna win it, because Palmeiras and Flamengo are team one and two of Serie A Brazil right now, and they're almost at the end of their season. So they're on a very good form, and yeah, it's a very interesting final to watch. Um, let's go to the games last night. Premier League, Brighton defeated Leeds 3-0. Leeds is still not doing very well outside of their home. Welbeck scored again. He's doing pretty good. And Gomez had a brace. Arsenal won 2-0. They had very good opportunities against Burnley. Gukeresh scored and Royce also, both headers and from corners and crosses. The thing, so Arsenal go to the factory mode. They're again scoring from crosses and headers. What was interesting for me is that Gukeresh, he's so opportunistic in the box. He any ball that is like out there is an assist, or it's just deflection, or it's just sorry. Uh, for a moment, the ball is not in a position of a player. Gukeresh is on it, and it's brilliant. It shows how a good striker should be in the box. Um, what else? Yeah, we covered that. Palace won 2-0 against Brentford. Mateta scored again. He's scoring good goals for Palace. Um, what else? Fulham won 3-0 against Wolves. Who doesn't win against Wolves? They're not doing very well. Wolves had a red card. We move on from that, to be honest. Um, let's go to United game. As a United fan, I should talk about that a little bit more. I watched the game. Also, against Forest, I think in the first half the game was quite equal. Both teams could they had some opportunities, but it was quite equal, and it wasn't very offensive game. Both teams were not on the best form they could be. It was expected from Forest, even though they're in their house, in their city ground. Um, they were because they're not on a good form. They changed. It's their third coach this season. Of course, they wanted to be more cautious. United winning 3 games in a row, so you understand it. They wanted to be cautious, and though United scores, Casemiro from a corner by a header. It wasn't a corner. They shouldn't give United a corner. Though in the game, there were a few more times that they did mistakes on the corner. Maybe they should have technology for corner, and if the ball passes the line or not, or more control on the corners as well, because it became way more important in the game. Before, set pieces didn't matter as much, so maybe now they should control it more carefully. So United scored, everything seemed their way. They were second on the league for I don't know how, a few minutes. The second half started, and I remember between the first half and second half, I was just thinking with myself that it's now the game of mentality. Whoever comes with a winner mentality and just I have to win this can get it and get an advantage in the second half. I mean, it's in all games like this, but this time, because the game was so close and no team was performing very well on the ground, it's more important. And Forest was the better team. Scored 2 goals in 5 minutes, starting of the second half, and I think Lamens wasn't at fault for any of the goals, and our defense, they couldn't take a header. I don't know. It wasn't very good to watch. As a United fan, in shock, and United also in shock. Took them good time to recover. Forest had other opportunities as well, but later at the end of the game, United was better, and of course they scored. Ahmad had a super goal. super goal, and definitely watch it if you didn't. So that was the end. It was some chances. Ahmad shoot to, and the defender almost on the line, cut it, not exactly on the line, but there were chances, I think, for both teams to score more. But the draw, I think, was a fair result, if I'm gonna be honest. Though it's not the best because we don't get a haircut, I should get a haircut, but we don't get that guy's United Strand a haircut, but it was what it was, and a draw isn't the worst thing out of the house, out of your home, I don't know. If we can win against Tottenham or get a draw, maybe it's not the worst result, but still there are a lot of work if we want to get European games for next season. Chelsea against Tottenham. I should be more fast to talk about these games. Chelsea against Tottenham. A win for Chelsea. They lost some opportunities at the end. The guy who scored, I forgot his name. Let me just check again. Joao Pedro, yeah. I don't know why I forgot right now, but nonetheless, he didn't score for a long time. And he did. They lost some opportunities. Chelsea, Tottenham. I can say they didn't have any plan for the attacking side. Almost no plan, even though it was in their home. They were quite weak in the attack, so easy to beat, if I want to be honest. And Chelsea should have scored more, but 1-0, you get win and 3 points and done. Let's go to Liverpool against Villa. Liverpool was definitely superior, way more collected, in good form. Every player was doing their best. Gravenberch, if I'm pronouncing his name right, he scored. He's a good add-on to the game. Also, Salah played much better than the other games of the season, and it was a one-way game, if you ask me. I watched the Chelsea match. I watched about 65 minutes of this game. Villa didn't have much to offer. It was a Liverpool game at home, and yeah, that's about that. Liverpool went to the third place for a short amount of time. Maybe they stay there. I'm not pretty sure. It depends on Sunderland and City. Nonetheless, City is playing Bournemouth today. But nonetheless, it is they got a win, and maybe they're not in the worst place in the league. So somehow I feel like I said Liverpool will not be in trouble, and somehow they're not. So a lot of people saying Schlott get fired or something as a joke or something. Not gonna happen. Let's go to Bundesliga and be a bit more quicker about this. Leipzig won 3-1 against Stuttgart, the bigger match of the this weekend was for these teams. Leipzig in the second place, Stuttgart went a little bit back. Dortmund is now third. I think Stuttgart is fourth. Let me check the table. Yeah, Stuttgart is fourth. Leverkusen 5 because they lost against Bayern Munich. We will talk about that as well. But Leipzig is pretty good, doing a great form, and probably someone who tries to annoy Bayern, though I don't think you can. Mönchengladbach 4-0. I think it's the first or second win of the year for them. But 4-0 against San Pauli, and it was a weird result to see. Bayern Munich against Leverkusen 3-0 to Bayern Munich. It seemed even Leverkusen was an easy game for them. I think they have 15 game and 15 wins this season. They're having a game against Paris Saint-Germain in Champions League. Liverpool is playing against Liverpool. Liverpool is playing against Real Madrid. So two interesting games. But no one could challenge Bayern Munich yet. And they didn't play their best players. Kane, Olise, Diaz, Pavlovic, Boy from the first lineup. Normally they're from the lineup. 60 minutes or more they joined the game. They were out, and still they were ahead 3-0 against Leverkusen. And it's crazy how good their squad is. Let's go to La Liga. Villarreal 4-0. They're doing pretty good, and they're in the top of the league. I think they are at the second place right now. Also, Barca game still to be played. Atletico Madrid against Sevilla. They had an easy game, one-way game, 3-0. They're kind of finding their power as well. Real Madrid 4-0 against Valencia. Mbappe scored twice, one a penalty. Then Vinny like missed the penalty, and it was one of the worst penalties I ever saw. Like the movement before shooting, the shooting, it was just horrible to watch. It was in the center on the ground. Yeah, it was tough to watch. He really wanted to score that game, but the penalty, that was one of the worst penalties I ever watched. After that, two brilliant goals. Bellingham, a few minutes after the missed penalty, a super goal shoot out of the box, brilliant. And then, who's his name? Let me remember. Carreras. I wanted to say Carrasco. Carreras. Carreras in the last minutes, a shoot from the closed angle. Brilliant goal, and 4-0 for Real Madrid. They're on the top and they're enjoying it very much. Atletico Bilbao against Real Sociedad, very interesting game because Real Sociedad scored first, then Bilbao respond, second Sociedad, then Bilbao respond, and the last minute goal for Sociedad and put them on the win. Interesting, but Bilbao has a very not consistent form. Let's go to Italy. We're almost finishing. Almost finishing. Let's go to Italy. Como against Napoli 0-0. Como, I watched the 60 minutes and forward of this game. I heard that Como had good opportunities at the start, but both teams were quite boring. 0-0 was deserved. None of them were creating any opportunity in the last 30 minutes. And Napoli had more chances, if you call them chances, because they were at home, but Como has good form and Napoli made a draw and now offered the top of the league to Rome. Rome against Milan is playing tonight, and let's see what will happen then. One of the most interesting games of the day. But it was quite boring to watch. Juventus with the Spalletti on the win, they created insane opportunity, put Cremonese in the defense and shooting, trying to score. Good mentality. Spalletti being the Napoli like coach, it was interesting for him to become Juventus and like a bit of change of heart now, but nonetheless, his team was playing brilliantly. They scored two goals, and at the 80 something minutes, Vardy scored for Cremonese, so Vardy also scored. For now, Juventus 2 wins in a row seem that things have changed a little bit, at least for them. Going to Paris against Nice in Paris Stadium, like it was 0-0. Paris was attacking massively. I watched the almost end of this game, like 20 minutes, and Ramos was losing, like missing the goal so much, or the goalkeeper was taking the ball and saving the ball, and it was very insane game. They were attacking very much, and in the 94th minutes of 4 minute extra time that they had, like really last minute, Ramos finally scored, and Paris Saint-Germain won, so they stay. Sorry. I should. My leg hit the table, so it started shaking. So Paris Saint-Germain stay on the top, and yeah, it's pretty good for them for now, and they're struggling a little bit against teams to score, but for now they're safe in the League One, and in the Champions League they're doing great. Monaco lost to Paris FC. It means they lost the second place because Marseille won. They had two red cards in their game. Monaco lost 1-0, Marseille won 1-0, and they took the second place for now. Ajax made a draw. They're not very good. They had four not winning games. Then they've won 3-2 in a comeback mode against Twente, and now again a draw. Of course, the four games, two of them was in European competitions, but they're not on a good form. They're getting distant from the top so much. They seem very far, at least now, to win the league, because Eindhoven and Feyenoord are in a good form. Feyenoord won 3-1, and they're on the top of the league, but only with one goal difference from Eindhoven, with the same points. So it's very exciting for these two in um, Eredivisie, but Ajax for now is out. Let's see if I missed any game or I covered it all. Ueda scored twice for Feyenoord. He has 13 goals in the league, which, if it wasn't because of Kane, Mbappe, and Holland, it is quite impressive. And yeah, anything else? Anything else? No. Let's go to MLS. They're playing their 16th round in MLS, and games are becoming very exciting. Vancouver is passed the test. They with Thomas Muller, they made the draw. They won the first game. Okay, for now, if you don't know the format is like you have to win two games out of three, and you go. So it doesn't matter how many goals you score. It doesn't matter. You can win 3-0 or 1-0, or make it draw, and then the game will go to penalty and win there. You need two wins from three games, and then you pass to the next phase. So Vancouver got their second win. They made a draw. Last minute goal in the 90 minutes. They went to penalties. Muller also scored the first penalty for Vancouver, and there Thomas Muller playing in Vancouver. They went to the next phase. But in the Nashville and Inter Miami Messi game, it went the opposite way. Nashville scored two goals. Messi scored in the last minutes, but it wasn't enough. Miami won the first game, Nashville won the second game. They must go to the third game, and we see the result there. What else? Yeah, that's about that. The most important games to watch: Celtics against Rangers, both of them not doing very well in Scotland. They have to play against each other, and it will be an interesting game to watch. Very, very intense right now, because any team loses, the fans will lose their minds. Rome against Milan. Milan in the third place, Rome in the second place. Rome can take on the first place. Milan don't want to lose another game, because their form wasn't very great in the last two games, I think, and they can go lower and then be in trouble. So it's a very intense game. Dinamo against Shakhtar, first and second team. Shakhtar being the first. In Ukraine, they're playing against each other. It's kind of a derby of Ukraine, and also in the cup, domestic cup, Dinamo just eliminated Shakhtar this week, in the middle of the week. So it's a very intense game. City against Bournemouth. Bournemouth being second. City is City, and can go, I think, to the third place or second place. I'm not pretty sure. So City want to win. Bournemouth want to win or draw, at least to stay, and it's in the City ground. Barcelona against Elche. Inter against Verona. Inter want to go higher in the league, and Hellas Verona didn't win much, so it seemed like an easy game. Yeah, so I think I covered it all. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, write a comment. And it was a bit tough to cover it all, but I tried my best. Also, oh yeah, Benfica also won, I think, last night. Yeah. So, and Galatasaray versus Trabzonspor was 0-0. So yeah, that's the games I didn't cover, and I told you now. And yeah, that's about that. Hopefully I see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.